Right now, almost everything you drink is regulated, tested, and about as dangerous as a glass of water. That is a very recent luxury. 10 drinks from 10 points in history that people consumed on purpose. Some by accident, a few as actual weapons of war. Number 1. Roman sapa, a wine syrup boiled down in lead pots to make it sweeter and stop it from spoiling. The process worked chemically. Lead reacting with the wine produced lead acetate, literally sugar of lead, genuinely sweet and genuinely toxic. Romans used it constantly, in wine, in food preservation, even in medicine. Chronic lead poisoning from this habit remains debated, but the exposure was real. Number 2. Mad honey, made by bees feeding on certain rhododendron flowers around the Black Sea. In 401 BCE, the Greek general Xenophon recorded his own army eating wild honeycombs and collapsing, vomiting, unable to stand for a full day. 3 centuries later, King Mithridates of Pontus remembered that story. He left jars of the same honey in the path of Pompey's advancing Roman soldiers. The Romans ate it, lost coordination within the hour, and were massacred while too disoriented to fight back. History's honey trap, literally. Number 3. Kykeon, the drink consumed at the Eleusinian Mysteries, one of the ancient world's most secretive religious rituals. Nobody outside the cult was ever told the recipe. Initiates drank it and reported visions powerful enough to change how they thought about death. One modern theory suggests the barley was contaminated with ergot fungus related to LSD. It remains a theory, not a proven fact. Number 4. Soma in India and its close cousin Haoma in ancient Persia, both central to religious ritual for over 1,000 years. Ancient texts describe it as bringing visions, energy, and a sense of immortality. And then, remarkably, the exact recipe was simply lost to time. Modern scholars have proposed ephedra, certain mushrooms, and other plants as candidates. None is confirmed. This is one of history's genuine, unsolved mysteries. Number 5. Pulque, the fermented sap of the agave plant, sacred to the Aztec Empire. It was treated as a gift from the gods and also as a serious danger. Public drunkenness on pulque outside of religious festivals could be punished severely. Only the elderly and certain priests were legally permitted to drink it freely. For everyone else, the sacred drink came with the threat of real punishment. Number 6. The black drink, brewed by Native American peoples of the southeastern United States from roasted yopon holly leaves. It contained more caffeine than coffee and was drunk in large ceremonial quantities specifically to induce vomiting as a ritual act of purification. European colonists who witnessed the ceremony were baffled, watching grown men deliberately drink themselves sick as a matter of spiritual cleansing. Number 7. Medieval Gruit Ale, brewed centuries before hops became standard, using a mix of herbs instead. That mix sometimes included bog myrtle and wild rosemary, and in some regional recipes, small amounts of genuinely toxic plants like henbane. Effects ranged from mild stimulation to real hallucination, depending on who brewed it and how carefully. Beer, quite literally, used to be a gamble. Number 8. Ergot-contaminated rye beer and bread, a recurring medieval disaster rather than a deliberate drink. A fungus infecting damp rye grain produced compounds that caused convulsions, burning limb pain, and hallucinations, an affliction known as St. Anthony's fire. Entire villages were affected at once, since everyone drank beer or ate bread from the same contaminated harvest. Nobody understood the cause for centuries. Number 9. Roman absinthites, wine infused with wormwood, the same plant that later gave absinthe its name and its reputation. Ancient physicians prescribed it for digestion and as a general tonic, largely unaware of the neurotoxic compound thujone contained in the plant. Modern testing suggests the wine, like modern absinthe, likely never contained enough thujone to cause the dramatic effects later legend attached to it. Number 10. Andean chicha, a fermented corn beer, in its ordinary form simply a staple drink, closer to weak beer than to anything dangerous. In specific ritual contexts, some Andean chicha was reportedly mixed with vilca, a psychoactive seed related to plants used elsewhere in South America. Documentation of this practice is thinner than for the other 9 drinks here. Treat it as a plausible but less certain addition to the list. So across 10 cultures and several thousand years, a clear pattern shows up. Some of this danger was accidental, a fungus in the grain, a metal in the pot. Some was completely intentional, a weapon disguised as hospitality, and some was neither, a sacred ritual, a religious mystery, a purification ceremony that simply looked like poison to outsiders who did not understand it. Modern regulation exists because people spent thousands of years finding out the hard way exactly what was in their cup. See you next time.